we're going to have problems with the Dinobots and Grimlock in particular. And in this episode, War of the Dinobots, it comes to a head. Hey guys, welcome along to Here's Rodder's Reviews, the show that loves all things entertainment, shares that love with you. I am your host, Rodney Stewart. Right, we're into Transformers once again, and this episode is War of the Dinobots, episode 10 of season 1, and this one here is a brilliant little episode. It is, of course, we got the Dinobots introduced 2 episodes ago, and when they were first introduced there was a problem with their behaviour, and because of a design flaw, because real dinosaurs had smaller brains, the Autobots had thought, okay, we'll build these robots with smaller brains as well, which wasn't a good choice whatsoever. So by the end of that episode, they got a brain upgrade to make them a little bit more controllable. And yes, we throughout that episode, you know, we're going to have problems with the Dinobots and Grimlock in particular. And in this episode, War of the Dinobots, it comes to a head in this one here. What does the synopsis say on the box set? To acquire the power of an unstable, energy-rich meteor, Megatron probes the minds of the Dinobots and turns their allegiance away from the Autobots. When Optimus Prime is defeated by the Dinobots and handed over to the Decepticons, Wheeljack creates 2 new Dinobots to battle the original creatures. That is a decent outline to this episode. I could just leave this video with that, say no more about it. But it is genius in the way that it's done in this episode. Of course, we get Chip Chase is brought back in here as the scientific genius that's in the wheelchair. He discovers this meteor heading towards Earth. The Autobots race to the ground zero of where it's going to hit to make sure everybody's safe. And yes, they get there. They chip out a piece of the meteorite to check it out. You know, do tests on it to see if it's safe or whatever, and the Dinobots are left to protect it. So Megatron, also always on the search for energy, is like, this is top of his list, get hold of this meteor. And he gets there, the Dinobots are protecting its Grimlock, Sludge and Slag, is it? Yes, Slag. There's 2 Dinobots with similar names, and that name in particular, Slag, had to be changed. Like, PC Culture got hold of this name, and if you'll notice in some of the newer editions of Transformers, as far as the video games goes, I think like Fall of Cybertron had the Dinobots on it. Slag is referred to as Slug now, and I think that is because of the name. And PC Culture, Slag probably isn't the most PC correct name to give a character, but this was the 80s. It was a better time before the snowflakes started taking over. Anyway, I'm not going to get any further into that because I've had to deal with that nonsense before. So Megatron turns up, the Dinobots protecting the meteor. He doesn't want to fight them because in the previous episode where the Dinobots were introduced, the Decepticons were not prepared for the Dinobots, and the Dinobots were just through pure brute strength were able to kick the Decepticons' backsides for them. So he's not going to go that route this time. He's too intelligent for that, and they really do demonstrate Megatron's ability to turn any situation in his favour. And he probes their minds and he hears their thoughts. Grimlock has got the mentality that the strongest should lead, and that he is stronger than Optimus Prime, and which is no secret throughout the series. Like the Optimus Prime and Grimlock from time to time go toe to toe with each other, whether it be not fighting with each other but a clash of personalities from time to time, where Optimus Prime, being the leader, will ask Grimlock to do something and Grimlock's like, I can't be bothered. But yes, so that's the weakness that Megatron is going to exploit with Grimlock. Slag, if I recall properly, I should really record these reviews right after I watch the episode. It's been a couple of days. Slag is ignorant, arrogant, and Sludge is just a little stupid. He'll follow whoever's the leader, basically. Doesn't matter who it is, if there's a leader there, he'll follow. So Megatron uses this to his advantage, turns up and unarmed, takes his cannon off, sets it in the ground, and he's like, basically just twists the Dinobots. He's like, you know, you should be mighty Grimlock, you should be the leader of the Autobots, basically. And it just really does screw them over. Like, kind of aligns the Decepticons with the Dinobots against Optimus Prime and the Autobots. So the Decepticons get the meteor, take it away, the Dinobots are left there. Optimus Prime returns, and he's like, what happened to the meteor? And basically straight away Grimlock and the other Dinobots turn on Optimus Prime, start fighting, transform into the dinosaur forms, like tossing Optimus Prime about like he's a rag doll. And Prime the whole time's like, I don't want to fight you guys, we're friends. And Grimlock's like, you're weak, you know, you're doomed, we're like, I'm the leader now, I don't take orders from you, essentially is what he's saying. So one of Sludge's moves is he will stamp on the ground, and like massive holes will open up, and everything will just disintegrate. There's a huge hole open up behind Optimus Prime. He gets the life kicked out of him, thrown into this hole, and looks like he's dead. And the Dinobots transform back into robot form, and you know, is he dead? Have you done it? And you see Optimus Prime's hand starting to twitch, and he moves his arm slightly. Grimlock then starts to question himself. He's like, maybe Optimus Prime is stronger than I thought he was. So they basically lift him out of the hole and take him to the Decepticons, still alive, to which Megatron isn't amused at this. But Optimus Prime is armed with the knowledge that after the tests they did on the sample of the meteor, it's completely unstable, it could explode at any second. He's trying to warn Megatron that this is going to happen. Megatron just completely throws it off as lies. I don't believe he'll say anything to get me away from this meteor. But previous to that there, Starscream also voiced the same concerns about the meteor. So it's not new news to Megatron, but Megatron is very hard-headed. Once he gets an idea in his mind, very hard to shift it. So the fight commences again. The Autobots turn up, fight starts. The meteor at this stage is on a countdown to detonation, essentially. And by the end of the episode, the meteor explodes with the Dinobots in close proximity. Just as the explosion is about to happen, Optimus Prime runs towards Grimlock, throws him out of the way, and then shields Grimlock with his own body. And that is the big moment for Grimlock, where he's just like, Optimus Prime was willing to sacrifice his life to protect Grimlock, and he turns on Megatron's like, why would you say these things about Optimus Prime? He's a good leader, strong leader. So evil is punished. Megatron's plan has failed. He's like, Decepticons retreat. Off they go. Yes, good beats evil's bum. One more time, this episode, I absolutely adored this episode because it gives you that, not the first sign of Optimus Prime's personality, of how far he's willing to go for the people he cares about, but this is the first time where he's kind of, you know, he's strong enough in that fight earlier on where he could take on all three Dinobots, stand his ground, and perhaps win the fight. But he doesn't want to fight them, and he does his best not to. And then by the end of the episode, he's willing to jump in front of this explosion, put his body, his own physical wellness on the line to protect the Dinobot that mere 25 minutes, say, beforehand was trying to kill Optimus Prime. That's just shows real strength of character in Optimus Prime, and how much of a brilliant role model he was for us kids back in the 80s watching the Transformers for the first time. I absolutely love the character of Optimus Prime, and this episode really does paint him in the best possible light. Absolutely fantastic. Go and check this one out. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please hit that subscription button and don't forget to press that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Please get into the description box below this video and check out my social media links down there, and check out all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.